Hi folks, we're here today with Jeremy Cote, Fort Nelson resident and candidate in the upcoming federal election. Hi Jeremy.
How you doing, Doug?
Great. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Great. We're really excited to hear about the Pirate Party. First of all, I'd like to ask you how the Pirate Party was founded, where the name came from, and maybe just a little bit of background on the party itself.
Sure. In about 2006, the concept for the Pirate Party of Canada was thrown around on the Pirate Party International forums. The movement itself was started long before that. The Pirate Party has roots in European countries, in Sweden. A lot of guys from North America were involved as well. It got its start in Sweden. They had a party. They've made a lot of headway. In 2009, they were actually elected to the parliament in Sweden. The Pirate Party in Canada was really put together in action in 2009 here in Canada. A bunch of younger guys got together and started going after actively the forming a party. In 2010, they were officially recognized by Federal Elections Canada, and we've been kind of going strong ever since. I got involved basically when I first heard they were starting up in Canada in 2009, and I've been a member ever since.
Yeah, Jeremy, we'd like to know a little bit about yourself personally, and I'd like to find out if you know of any other time in history where a candidate ran for a national election from Fort Nelson. I mean, that's a pretty exciting concept.
I'm not aware of any candidates on the federal stage that have ever come from Fort Nelson. Maybe some long-standing community members can shed a little more light on that, because I haven't been around forever. But yeah, my family moved here in 1990 and lived here for quite a while. I went away for school, came back, went away for school again. I've lived here for probably 15 years altogether. Fort Nelson is really my home. It's the place where I grew up. I have lots of friends and family in the area. I was actually even born in Prince George, so the whole Prince George Peace River riding, North Peace area is really, it's integral in my life. I feel very strongly about small town stuff. I'm a small town boy at heart. I think that business and even politics, relationships with people, they're very honest in a small town, and you can really get to the heart of issues. And I'd love to see Fort Nelson really get the issues that they have known on the national stage. We have huge projects like the Horn River, Liard River Basin, Cordova projects right now. We're contributing a huge amount to the Canadian economy, the BC economy. These are projects that are going to affect our nation for years to come. And we need to really take the opportunity to step up and say, this is the way that business is going here. This is the way that life runs here. Let's make some changes, because we're on the forefront, on the cusp of a lot of really great things.
Can you explain to us, Jeremy, basically what the platform is, or the essence of the party? Do they have a broad range of issues, or they just have a few issues that are mainly of concern for the party?
There's about 5 main issues that the scope, the national platform is formed from. They range from copyright reform, patent reform, privacy concerns, net neutrality, and open government, access to government information and transparency.
So Jeremy, if someone my age asked you about other issues maybe that are on the national stage as well, like healthcare, education, seniors, jets, for example, have you developed a platform to address all those issues, or how do you plan to address those issues?
Personally, I do have opinions on a lot of those subjects, but I'm one of many in the riding. The Pirate Party is unique in that because they have such a narrow scope of national platforms, they have a lot of room for issues to be determined by the local riding. They have an unplatform. It's very much a push for local representation that's accurate and conscientious. The idea is that instead of having a platform put together for all the different issues on a national level, we're concerned about what the voters want, because that's what democracy is. It's the people sending their representative to the government meeting and saying, this is what the constituents of this riding feel is important on this issue as it relates to their riding, as it relates to the country. The Pirate Party really endorses that way of doing representation. It really ends up putting the power back in the hands of the voters, making sure that their needs are heard and met, and it's not glossed over because the National Party platform conflicts with what's important in a specific area.
Jeremy, tell me a little bit about net neutrality. It's a subject that, you know, not a lot of people are well informed about, and we'd really like to hear about it.
Net neutrality is a big political and commercial buzzword for the concept of playing fair on the internet. Big companies that control the transmission lines, Shaw, Bell, TELUS in major centers, Northwest Tel for us up here, have the potential power to prioritize specific types of traffic or even specific websites. If net neutrality was overturned and ceased to exist, what we'd end up with is potentially a tiered internet service where I could subscribe to Amazon or Google, but then I don't have access to Facebook or YouTube. Sort of like how cable companies treat cable TV. Alternatively, it could also mean that, say, my internet service provider allows me to have internet, but I can't use Skype to talk on the internet, to use voice over IP services, because they offer their own voice over IP services for making calls over the internet, and I'd have to subscribe to it. And to prevent me from using something that's free, they would block those free services from running on the internet. So it really is very important. It's important to every person who uses the internet so that they can continue to use all of the services that they use on the internet. It's important to foster innovation, because without the ability for any small company to start up, offer a service that anybody can access, you're going to see all of those unique ideas and products that these companies come up with just disappear, because the only people able to have enough money to make inroads into a large enough market would be big players like Google and Amazon and Microsoft and whatnot. So,
do you feel that these issues have a special effect on our Peace region, specifically Fort Nelson and the Peace area? How do these issues affect us, you know, locally?
They're magnified up here because we are enough removed from major centers that we rely on the internet even more than a lot of other places do. If you actually look in eBay and online shopping in general, we're in the top 5 per capita in Canada, if not in North America. In Fort Nelson, just in Fort Nelson. As for computer use, we're right up there too, in the top 5 computers per capita. It's obviously something that's a huge deal for us. It's integral to how we live in our daily lives, and that affects the rest of the Peace region too. In the worldwide, technology is becoming more important, and it's only magnified up here where we're farther away and need these tools to be a part of what's going on elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jeremy, I think your party would have its most appeal to younger people, mm-hmm. and notoriously, younger people tend not to come out and vote. How do you feel about that? And do you agree, first of all, with that statement? And how do you feel about being able to get younger people out? How will you do that?
I think that's certainly true. I mean, I've dug up as much information as I can about voting and demographics in the last little while, and it's plain that especially the 18 to 24, but it extends all the way up to 34-year-olds, don't vote very much. In the last election, it's less than 40% of that demographic is voting. That means that if they were the only ones that voted, more people would prefer anarchy to democracy, really. Yeah. And I mean, you can't run a country on that. You end up with people elected that are getting just barely half of the people that actually vote. It's such a small amount of people that are actually determining what's going on in the country. You're not. It's just not. It's not accurate. I think it's very important for younger people to vote. Lots of people have talked about this. There have been all sorts of campaigns dating back years and years. The U.S. has done stuff like Rock the Vote to try and get kids out, get kids interested. I think where the issues lie is in regards to platform, how compelling the issues are for that particular demographic. Do people my age or younger or older care about issues like F-35 jets? Do they care about issues like international policy? They probably should, but do they? And so the reality is you've got to work with that. And I think if you can, if you have a platform that's compelling, that hits people where they are, where they live, what they do every day, if it affects those kinds of things, people are going to stand up and say, hey, yeah, that's important to me. Everybody wants a say. Nobody when asked is not going to give you their opinion. But you know, if they don't feel like their opinion is valued, or nobody's talking about anything they care about, they're just going to disengage from the conversation entirely, and you're seeing that. Even Canada-wide, demographic-wide, the entirety of the vote turnout last election was 59.1%. We're perilously close to being in a minority across all the age groups. So why is that? Well, you know, there could be many reasons, but I think if we can identify issues that are important for people in their everyday lives, and internet and technology is one of those things. We use it, like we've talked about, everywhere in every way. We use it to do our banking, to do communication. We use it to run our businesses, to buy stuff for our businesses or ourselves. There are so many things that we do. It really is integral to the way we live our lives today. And so these are issues that people can relate to. If a younger guy or a younger girl can say, hey, that candidate's talking about something that I care about, they're going to come out and vote. They should come out and vote. They should be concerned about saying, this is important to me, I want to have a say. But you're not seeing it because the platforms aren't compelling. So now they are.
Well, Jeremy, thanks very much for the interview, and we appreciate you stepping out front, and especially being a young entrepreneur. I'm sure you've got lots of other things that occupy your life, so we all think it's great that you're taking a crack at the federal campaign, and all the best of luck to you, and all the best of luck to all the candidates in the federal election. This is Doug Roper with another Fort Nelson Community Update.